Alright, YouTube, welcome back to the channel. So let's get straight into this video. I want to talk about how your presence attacks their pride, right? So if you know that you're someone that's chosen, you have the light of Christ inside of you, right? And that light shines bright wherever you go. You just shine normally. And whenever you go around people, especially someone who's arrogant, someone who's prideful, right? Spirits of pride. Whenever you come around, they feel a certain weight when you come around. Like they don't feel as big as they think they are whenever you come around, right? And keep in mind, you don't do anything to try to humble them, right? You don't say like, "Oh, you need to humble yourself." You don't say any of these things. You don't even have to say anything, right? It's all in the presence that you have. So you've probably seen before when you've been around certain people, whoever it is, like all of a sudden they start acting different around you. Like they start getting aggressive, or like they start trying to say little things to get under your skin, or like they'll start like comparing themselves or like competing with you or whatever. And it could be the littlest things ever. It could just be pointless things like oh, even say for suffering, right? Like you might talk about like your personal issues or whatever it is, and then all of a sudden like this person will be like, "Oh no, yours aren't as big as mine," right? So you'd be like, can you just listen to me, right? Like it's not a competition who has bigger suffering, or it's not a competition who has bigger this or more than this, right? This is probably the most annoying thing about being chosen by God, right? Is that people are just gonna feel attacked by you, right? You don't have to say anything, so their pride is gonna feel a certain type of way because the pride is fragile, right? And you just cause these reactions to people because of the way that you are, just the presence that you have, and not only just the presence, but the way that you treat other people, right? You treat people the same. So if you're around people who want to be treated as special, you don't treat them as special. You just treat them kindly and normally as everyone else, right? You'll just treat everyone like that. And whenever you do this, the people who are prideful, the people who feel like they're somebody that's bigger than others or better than others, they're gonna feel insecure around you, right? So whenever you come around, they're gonna be like, "Oh, who is this person?" So they're gonna hate you immediately, right? Because they're gonna be like, "Dang, I can't really. This person doesn't view me as someone who's the super high person, right? Because you view everyone the same. They're all people. So you've probably had situations like this like throughout your whole life, right? You could have gone around certain other people and like you haven't even said anything, but they just expect you to like follow them, or expect you to praise them or whatever, or expect you to think that they're better than you are, but you don't do that, right? Because you carry the spirit of God, so you don't compare anything. You don't view things the same as other people. You don't view things through pride, right? You view things through the spirit. So whenever you come around, you see these people for who they are, right? So you see them authentically. So whenever you see them authentically, they could tell that you could see that they're not really who they say that they are, or like you could see like their insecurity or whatever, or you can see that they're putting on an act, so they get angry about it, right? So this is what causes them to hate you. So they'll try as hard as they can to prove that they're better than you, but the whole time you're not even there to compete, right? You're not even there to even do that. You're just there to just have a good time and speak just normally, right? But they don't see it that way, right? Because the people of the world live in the flesh, right? The pride of life, the lust of the flesh. So they view everything through that, through pride and lust. And you view everything through the spirit, right? You view everything on a spiritual lens. So this makes them, first of all, not understand you. They're like, who is this person? Like, is this person arrogant or whatever? This is what causes people's misjudgment on you. They'd be like, is this person arrogant? Is this person like this? Is this person this? Is this person that? But all of it's false, right? It's all in your spirit. They can't really like read you correctly. So this is what has caused like many different people just to all of a sudden just like hate on you, right? All of a sudden just to like they don't even know why they hate you, right? Because they're just like, I hate this person. I hate this person, right? Because they don't operate with God, right? They operate with the enemy, so they're gonna hate you because of God. It's a spirit inside you, right? But yeah, you just naturally attack people's pride without actually attacking it. Your presence just attacks it, right? Whenever you go around people, like all of a sudden they'll start comparing themselves to you, and they'll see what you do or what you say or whatever, and they're like, dang, I need to start doing this, or I need to start working harder on this. I need to start doing this. I need to start treating people like this, right? You kind of have an effect on people that makes them want to be better, right? You just do that because you're constantly developing. Since you have that spirit, right? You have a calling by God. You're always rapidly developing. Like you can't really just stay the same, because staying the same for you is not only boring, but it's not inspiring either. Like whenever you stay the same, you're just gonna have an urge to like do something else, like do something to develop more and more and more, right? Because that's what you do, because you have that spirit, right? So you go around these people, and like they'll get insecure around you. They're gonna feel like you're better than they are, right? So at the same time, you kind of just like motivate people without saying anything. You just naturally like motivate just by your presence, because they see how you act and what you do, and like once they figure out like the stuff that you do, they're like, wait, I need to start doing this. Like, why can't I do this? Why can't I, wear something like this, or why can't I get in this shape, or why can't I do this for money, or why can't I do this? Like all this stuff, right? You just cause people to do that because you're a natural leader. If you're someone who's chosen by God for a purpose, you're going to be a leader, right? Because you have to jump in some type of leadership position. And your personality is that of a leader, right? It's a graceful, loving leader. So when people are living in pride and like they're not really being authentic, they can see that. Whenever you go around the other people that see you, they're going to view you as like the leader there, right? So whenever you come around like these other people, they feel kind of like exposed, right? They're like, oh wait, these people aren't listening to me anymore, they're listening to them, right? You just have that authenticity about you. This is why you probably have a lot of people that like either like listen to you, or like they just get curious about you, or like they ask you all types of questions, or like they tell you their life stories and everything. You just have that leadership about you, right? So when you go around like competitive people, like prideful people or arrogant people, they're going to think you're trying to compete with them, right? But you're not even there to compete. You just naturally draw attention. You just have that effect, right? Because that spotlight effect is from God. You just have this light about you. That's why it doesn't matter really as much as what you look like or what you wear. It's all just the light that you have, right? So this is what has caused a lot of people to also like copy things you do, because it attacks their pride. It also brings out kind of like jealousy, and jealous people always want to copy the people that they're jealous of because they want what you have, right? So you'll have other people that all of a sudden like they start copying like maybe something that you wear, or something that you do, or like the way you speak. It could go many different ways. Like they could just copy the weirdest things about you, right? They could maybe try to even copy like the way you walk, right? You just cause people to react this way about you because you naturally bring attention to yourself. Like I said, you're like a natural leader, right? And this is only for people who resonate with this. This may not be for everyone, but if you resonate with this video, then this video is for you. So you have a natural leader personality, right? And you're not someone that's like an aggressive leader or like a boss, but you're just like a leader. This is why you always seek just to boost people up. Like you've probably never tried to put someone down, or like never let jealousy get to you. Like you've likely pretty much never really been jealous of other people. You've probably always like minded your own business. Like you don't really care what anyone else is doing, and not in a bad way, but you just don't mind what they're doing, right? You're not going to look at them and be like, oh, they're doing this, I need to do this, I need to do that, right? You never done that because you have an intuition about you. You kind of know where you're supposed to be. And people see that, and a lot of people have pride, and they don't like when they don't have control over people or power over people. And no one can have power over you. That's why, because you have the spirit of God inside you, and where God is, there's freedom, right? So you're free. That's why you're like a free spirit, right? That's what you're on. People see that. They know that you're not really bound by anything, right? You're only bound by God. You're only bound to God. So everything in this world, nothing's gonna be able to like get under your skin. Nothing's gonna be able to get you to like compare yourself. Nothing's gonna get you to compete because you have this intuition about you, and you know that all that stuff like doesn't matter, right? And people see that, especially if it's wicked people, and they get envious about it, right? So they're gonna try to get you to go, and they're gonna try to get you to lower yourself into your flesh, right? They're going to want you to get in your pride. They're going to want you to get in your anger. They want to get you out of that calmness of the spirit, right? They want to get you out of that because it bugs them because they're not like that, right? But they can't do anything about it. You're always going to be like that. Even if you go in times of sin, like if you go in times of pride, if you go in times of like anger, it quickly changes, right? Because God is always there for you. This is why I've said in a lot of my old videos where you could be like super angry or like super just done with everything, but then all of a sudden, like an hour later, you're just back up, you're calm, you're happy again. It just like switches really quickly. Because the Holy Spirit puts you at a calm, right? Because God's Spirit is a calm spirit. It's a calm and quiet spirit. So that's why people get mad about you, because they're like, why isn't this person competing, or why isn't this person angry about this? Why does this person not care that they're in that position when I'm in this position? Why aren't they viewing me as this person? Why aren't they doing that? Because you know that God doesn't want you to do that, right? Because you're following God, so you're following the purpose that you have. So then you know that what other people do, it doesn't matter. It doesn't have an effect on you, because you know what you're supposed to be doing, right? And whenever you act this way, whenever people see that bright spirit that you have, they start to look at you, then they start to view themselves and they compare themselves to you, right? So they have the spirit of comparison on them, so they just immediately start comparing themselves to you. This is why it's happened to you, and it's been kind of like a nuisance, right? Because your intentions have always likely been just pure with people. Like you never had any like malicious intent or whatever. You never went to a place and been like, oh, I'm going to be the top dog over here, right? I'm going to be the big one over here, or I'm going to be like this, or I'm going to beat them at this, right? You never do that stuff because you have the Spirit of God on you. And these people see that, so their pride feels attacked about it. They're like, dang, I can't really. They're not viewing me as this person, or like they're seeing me as someone who I really am. They're not treating me as if I'm like someone better than other people, right? And many people in the world are living in pride. Most people live in pride, right? Because the devil, who is the prince of pride, is the god of this world. So people are taught to live in pride, like live in competing with people, live in that. And I've always talked about that there's good competition and there's bad competition, right? Like in sports, of course, there's going to be competition and just stuff like that. If it's like a video game, that's just competition, right? But I'm talking about like competition into where they want to feel like they're better than you are as like a person, right? Like that type of competition, or just like they want to be the one that's bigger than you are, like that type of competition, not healthy competition that's natural, right? But because you don't treat people any differently than the other, you treat everyone the same. The people who are righteous and good, those people love you, right? Because you treat them the same. Or like the people that are down in bad situations, you lift these people up, right? You just seek to lift them up because you're naturally empathetic. So you're gonna naturally lift people up. And whenever you view other people who are in high positions, like you view them the same as other people. Like you give them their respect, right? You just treat them like another person. You don't treat anyone poorly. And that's why a lot of people that have pride don't understand, right? They don't understand that everyone's the same. That no matter what position that anyone's in, right? Like everyone's still the same. Everyone still needs to receive that genuine respect, right? But no one that wants to be treated like a god or whatever is going to get that respect from you, right? You're still going to be kind to them, but you're going to be like, I'm not treating this person this way, right? Because you already see their pride. You already see their sin and everything. And they get mad about that, right? Because these people are like narcissistic. And this has been one of the main reasons why ever since you were younger, people have hated you, right? Because you didn't view anyone as a threat, because you just naturally had God's Spirit about you, and you didn't view people as someone that you should be scared of, right? You're likely someone who's been naturally like fearless. Not fearless, but naturally courageous, right? You just always had courage to do things and like say things, right? You've probably likely always told the truth, but the world likes to silence the truth about things, especially when you're younger. The world likes to silence a child and tell them they don't know what they're talking about, or they're too young to know that, right? All that stuff. And then when you get older, you'll say some things and like people will try to shut you up, right? People will try to be like, oh no, you're wrong, or no, you're crazy, or no, you're this and that. But no, the whole time you've been correct, right? Because of the discernment that you have, you've been correct. You see things through God's eyes, and people know that, right? So you're gonna expose people. If it's a righteous person, they're gonna like you. If it's a wicked person, they're gonna hate you, right? Because light and dark don't mix. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Of course, don't forget to subscribe if you're not subscribed already. Don't forget to like, and don't forget to comment anything below. All right, God bless you guys, and I'll see you in the next video.